Interesting. That might be better. Hmm. Because it's 20% more combat rating, right? It's like 10k, 9k, but it's 10% less. Hmm. But that's, well, maybe it's just, oh, it's the crit damage. Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. I'm wondering right now. Maybe I should do one more catacomb. Um, so I'm switching skilled reach. So I was majory, and I figured something about a modifier. Um, just give me a second. Okay, so I figured something about a modifier, like abilities that proc further than 20 yards gain double damage. So uh, it's fairly hard to explain, but I'm gonna try to show you. So let me buff up real quick with these. So look at my lightning damage. The lightning, it's like 1 billion, like with no damage stat at all amulet, like close to 1 billion, right? Like 900 million. But if I use that amulet with no damage modifier besides the, like there's just the modifier, right? There is no affixes with damage that will benefit me. So if I do that and be max range, I'm doing 1.8 billion, right? 1.8 billion. But the problem is I have to be like max range. Like I have to be here. I cannot be closer to that. So a Majory has this problem because it's very hard to be like just at the right distance. But with one end weapon, there is magical slash, and magical slash hits from here, right? So let's say like I'm doing like just from here. It's fairly hard to see the damage, right? But it's like 1.6 billion damage already, right? Without the modifier. And so with the modifier, I will be doing double, right? I mean, 1 billion, and with that, I was doing how much? Let me let it. Uh, cool down a little bit. So yeah, I'm doing like 400k lightning damage on the first dummy, right? 500k. Sometimes a little bit more or less because of my buff proc, right? So let's say like 5 to 600k. Let's do with that now. Right, so I'm dealing already like double the damage, and it's easier, right? Because I'm ranged, and the skill can proc from like very far away. As you can see, I'm still dealing damage from here. And the benefit from wearing a melee weapon is that you gain 20% damage reduction for free. It's not noted anywhere, but trust me on that. I have 2.1k hours in this game. Source, trust me, bro, but it is. So, and damage reduction. Uh, so let's say like the max you can have from armor is 80%. So if you have 80% damage reduction from armor, you still take 20% of the damage, right? But if you get 20% on top of that, you are getting 82% damage reduction, right? No, let me think about it. No, you are getting 84%. So you are only taking 16% of the damage. Yes, instead of 20. So you are getting 25% less damage, right? You are taking 25% less damage. And you can have like up to 50 damage reduction from your fossil. So if you go from like, let's say 80 and 50% from your fossil to 90%, you are reducing the damage by 50%. Yes, it's intentional, Fabulous. It's because like melee weapons are melee, right, by default. So they gave melee weapon more damage reduction because you should be closer to the monster. But they gave one and magical slash, and magical slash is not a melee ability, but it's still considered melee because you are wearing a melee weapon. So right now I'm trying to level up my weapon, and we're gonna switch to one end because I'm playing hardcore. So getting 20% damage reduction on top of everything, plus the damage, like the double damage from the amulet, like it's crazy damage. So yes. Like for now, using my damaging amulet. So as you can see, that amulet gives me 33% more damage, right? Plus, it gives me 10% more damage that it's not reflected on my combat rating. So that amulet alone gives me 40%, let's say 40% more damage than this one. But this one gives me double damage. So this one is better already, even though it has no damage effects on it. So yeah, that's what we are doing right now. But for now, I'm using the normal damage amulet. This 20-yard amulet will only be used for bossing, like dungeons, bossing, and like pushing. I think I'm not gonna use it while farming. While farming, I'm gonna keep this amulet because monsters are around you all the time. But like I'm talking like min maxing late game. It's like you don't have to worry too much about it yourself. I mean, if you want to know, that's good, but you don't have to do that to clear the whole game at all. It's just because I'm playing hardcore and getting like, even if I do the same damage as Majory, but if I can gain the 20% damage reduction from one end, that's good enough for me. Even if I do a little bit less damage, even. Like, I value survivability a lot in hardcore. Alright, I'm going to take a short break. And yeah, we're gonna continue unlocking that. I think I can do infuse now. Yep. Thank you, Nay. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. Oh, nice, Miles. 53% on an item, I would guess. Or it's not total, right? Because if it's total, you need to work on your chain lightning damage. Alright, let's get more. Uh, let's try 100 in normal. 260, yeah. That's pretty good then. It's like 25% more damage for you. Right, because you go from 200% to 250, let's say. Okay, 100 might be a bit too hard for now. Yeah, 20% more. That's pretty good. Okay, we can do 96 easy then. Oh, the earthquake, yeah. You need more armor and more HP, Colonel. Yes, because every 4 rupture levels you get one more bag of time essence. And the breakpoint is 92 and then 96. That's some min-max shit. Thank you for the follow, Cardamom. 85, 85 is good because it's 84 or 88. Yeah, 84 would be the same. Yes, Nay, if you die in the dungeon, you lose the key. Okay, 100 is a little bit too much. I mean, I destroyed that boss. Okay. The only problem with one end is you don't have a movement ability. I mean, you have one, but it sucks dicks. It's magical slice. Because you stop at the end, it's very hard. I mean, I think it can be okay. But the mount is easier, but I mean, it's okay. But the problem is you cannot have your movement ability. Maybe you can with 1000 cuts for farming, maybe. Nah, you really want magical slash. Okay, let's do 96 then. The good thing with magical slash is you can break things from far away. The guide from Dritus is like, if you read the first line, it says that the guide is very outdated. So yeah. So what you want to do when you finish with the campaign, you want to go higher and higher. Yeah, there is no update version. That's why I'm streaming to help you guys. Yeah, you want to like the first breakpoint, I would say, is reach rupture 40, like clear rupture 40. Then prepare to be able to farm like rupture 60, 61. Then upgrade to be able to farm rupture 75, 76. 76 should be the better, but so why 61 is because at 61 you will start getting a lot more shadow monsters from randomly killing monsters, and shadow monster will give you shadow stones, and shadow stones are damage reduction stones. So yes, it matters. So if you want to collect bracers modifiers to, like for example, to get this modifier, to craft the item you want with the stat you want and the modifier you want, uh, you need to do different zones. So for bracers, it's Mercedes. Let me link you. I should have. Let me game guides. Um, they are all codex ancients. Um, so if you want the different modifiers, you go look there, and it will tell you where to get the shit. Um, and it will matter later, like for these scrolls, right? Because each scrolls, like Messadians gives Messadian scrolls, Cabarians gives Cabarian scrolls, and they start giving you scrolls at 75. So that's why it's the next breakpoint, because you want to get a ton of scrolls for your Rupture 100 dungeon. Yes. I can tell you why. It's convoluted. If you want a little bit of lore about this game and why it is what it is right now. Yeah, so if you want to get that modifier, you need to do Messadians until you unlock the modifier by killing the boss. It's random which one you will get. Uh, and then to get the modifier on the item you want, you need a 4-stat yellow item. So you have armor by default and 3 other stats. And when you have the 4-stat yellow item, you can just enchant it with residue. Yeah, Colonel. So you need to work on your gear for that. You need more HP, you need more damage reduction from armor. Um, so yeah, a little bit of lore about why the game is like this. So Elbibo and Craterman are two twin brothers, and they live at the other side of the planet. Like each other live at the other opposite side of the planet, and to keep in touch with each other, they started making this game, and they started learning. Like Craterman is a PoE enjoyer. Elbibo I don't really know, but they started from scratch, from nothing, and they learn UE5. At first it was UE3, Unreal Engine. Maybe they had some background in the industry. I don't know really, but it's a passion project. The game was free for the longest time. It was a free game. Um, and yeah, it's a passion project. And they went with an aggressive development cycle to try to get the the mechanics, the gameplay, how things work first, and then do the polish after. The polish meaning the UI. I can show you an old video from a year ago if you want to see the difference. Um, Give me 1 second. I'm trying to load into my YouTube real quick. So the game was still the same, but it was different at the same time. Okay, let me try to find the video because I have so many videos now. Uh, so I'm gonna show you what old gear was. For example, yeah, I agree. I agree with that. So that's the old UI and gear that we used to get. For example, um, uh, and that's let's say, I'm going to show you this one too. I agree, but it's a reminiscence of the old crafting. and they need to work on that, and they will work on that. That's an old boss fight uh, with old Carnage of Fire. I, the game was still the same, but it was different at the same time. I mean, you can browse my YouTube, yeah. That was 1 year ago. So they made a lot of progress over a year, and they started with no money, right? So yeah, that's why like some things are convoluted, as you are saying, right? It will come over time. They hired two devs, you know, 2 months ago. So now there are four devs working on the game, and the two devs that they hire should be professionals, you know. I mean, so yeah. And back in the day, like I didn't stream, and we on some buses with like Spark skill, for example, I went to like 2 FPS on like a normal bus with zero ad and not moving, you know. Yeah, but the skins for now are like assets that they buy, you know, and they just put it in the game, and it helps with money. They don't do a lot of work with them for now, for now. But they try to prioritize like the gameplay loop. You know, they try to get the balance right, and they try to, you know, the feeling of everything first, and then they will polish more the game. Yeah. And yeah, as I said, like the game was free for a long time. Then it was $5, and no, okay, it's $10, but like even $10, I have like 2,000, more than 2,000 hours myself. I might be a little bit biased, you know. I try to be as objective as I can, um, but because I know the old game, like we we went a long road. And even for $10, it's still like, and it will get better and better for the price. Okay, why that is lagging? I don't know. Maybe it's the song. Look, I'm not saying the game is perfect, and you're right when you are saying like it's convoluted. There is too many things. It's not explained well. There is no guides. You know, because everything changes so fast, and the core gameplay is the same, but everything around it is different, like every 3 weeks to 4 weeks. And so it's I think they get the scaling right this season for the first time. I think the scaling is pretty good. You can use pretty much any skill you want. You are not tied to any weapon. I mean, the crafting is what it is, but it's still better than no crafting and having to look at a million different items, you know, like we used to do that. Um, yeah, it should be early access after this season normally. Uh, but yeah, they need to work a lot on tutorials. At least you have the early tutorials now. Being able to change skills on your weapons instantly. It's you. I mean, they made a lot of progress. It's still not perfect, of course. There's still a ton of work to do. I agree. I 100% agree with that, Nate. And if you have any suggestion or whatever, feel free to like do it in Discord. There is a suggestion channel, you know. They are very open to suggestions. Like, if it's not like, give me 10 times more loot, please, lol, XD, XD, you know. Um, but yeah, that's the lore behind why the game is like this right now. So people can understand like why there is flaws, you know. Yeah, it needs to be constructive because like saying just like this thing is shit because I don't like it, you know, it doesn't help that much. You have your own opinion, right? Like I don't like crafting myself as it is right now, but I don't have a good op like constructive feedback on it, you know. Yeah, yeah, player shit on any game constantly. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to be that guy. Yeah, me neither. Sometimes I give some unsolicited feedback, you know, but because I'm a veteran of the game and I've been helping them a lot, uh, they tend to take it more lightly, I would say, than if it's a new player. But yeah, like for the crafting, for example, like as I'm saying, I don't like it because it breaks my flow of gaming. But it's my problem because I would like to be able to farm like 10 or 12 hours non-stop and then put everything into my stash, right? And then when I'm tired or everything, craft, for example. Thank you for the follow, Robert Le Fourbe. And I don't know if you're French, but if you're French, salut, bienvenue. Tu peux me parler en français ou en anglais, if you're French or not. But with a name like this, I think you're French or Canadian. But welcome, welcome. French ASMR, yeah. I don't know what I was talking about. Oh yeah, the gameplay loop. So for me, I like to like grind a lot, then put everything into my stash and do like I don't know crafting for 3 hours. And right now, because I'm limited in stash space, I cannot do that, and it breaks the flow of the game for me. So I don't have to. So I don't craft. I craft only in the minimal question. So you have strength and flat damage on an item. Strength 100% because you scale strength with you will have strength bonus, right? So one strength is one flat damage, and they will upgrade for the same amount, most likely, right? So because you have strength bonus, it's better. Yeah, you get the multiplier from the skill tree, from your cards. Known zine, known zine. I don't know. I would say, uh, I don't know. Known zine doesn't tell me anything. Attack speed is, for me, it's irrelevant. So I'm gonna explain why. Um, so your attack speed only makes you auto attack faster and makes your skill usage faster. It doesn't reduce the cooldown of your ability. So with a low ability cooldown like Chain Lightning, it's fine, but it doesn't do anything, right? And if you have too much attack speed, sometimes it can be detrimental because you can skip a cycle, you know? Like, for example, if I attack too fast, you see my cooldown at the bottom, right? It's on almost perfectly on cooldown. But if I get too much attack speed, I might get fucked. and attack too fast. Like if I'm close, maybe it will change. No, not yet. But attack speed can fuck you up if you have too much with certain skill. And because you are tied to your cooldown anyway, like the bottleneck is your cooldown, so yeah. Yeah, if you are a little bit too slow, you can benefit a little bit from attack speed, but you will get attack speed from your gems and your fossil, right? Yeah, but once you hit the breakpoint, it's irrelevant or detrimental. Exactly. That's why I don't spec attack speed, and there is like soft caps. Like at 1k, there is the first soft cap. At 2k, there is a second soft cap, and at 6k, there is the last soft cap. And a community member tried in offline mode with cheated items and so on, right? And he went to like 500k attack speed, and the max that you can get is reduce your attacks by like your attack speed is 70 times percent faster, like 70%, 79% faster. Sorry. So if you have 600 of you like your attack speed is 40% faster, let's say, and if you have 500k, your attack speed is 80% faster. So it has a huge diminishing return over time. So yeah, I don't really like attack speed myself. I think I'm gonna stop putting attack speed on my fossil to not fuck myself up. I think it's bad design. It's very hard to get it right though because of cooldowns. Before like a few seasons ago, the skills were proc chance based and not cooldown. So the more attack speed you had, the more proc chance you had, right? You didn't hit breakpoints, or I mean, the only breakpoints was your attack speed, not the cooldown of your skill. So the more attack speed you will have, yeah, but it's because so I'm assuming right now. So it was proc based for like a year, and it was getting out of hand. Yeah, but it was getting like very out of hand, and we could reach 100% proc rate on skills. So we dealt too much damage, and weapon damage was irrelevant. Like you dealt like zero damage with your weapons, and they tried to they should Nanzin. Like in my opinion, they should. Yeah, it's almost 2 a.m. for me too. Fabulous. Have a good night. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for the support, the Prime, the 6,900 bucks. I'm joking, but the 6.9 bucks, everything. Have a good day. Have a good night. And yeah, I would be on tomorrow. Uh, but yeah, so the skill were prog based, and we did too much damage with our skills, and weapon damage was like literally less than 1% of your damage. And to combat that, they wanted to remake the weapon skill to be more impactful, like to have a meaning to them. So they started cutting down on the proc chance, and then they went with cooldown. And now we have cooldown and damage deal more or less damage if you are using auto attacks, or if you are using your R skill, or different skill will give you a different bonus to your skill damage. And by reducing the damage of the skills and the cooldown of the skills, they they made it so that now your weapon skill, like if I switch to majory with my majory percent and so on, my majory weapon skills deals between 15 and 20% of my damage total. That's a huge buff compared to what it was before. So I think they are trying different things right now with the cooldowns. I don't know if it will stay in the game. I don't know. So for them, apparently it's easier to get the balance right because right now balance is in a way better place than what it was before because of the proc rate, the tick rate of the skills, how the skills behave. You have so many different factors. Then reducing the proc rate to a cooldown, a steady cooldown with steady tick rate, with steady damage output is way apparently it's way easier for them to balance the skill, and I agree. What they made with that is way better than what it was, because before the problem was there was skills that were shining like it was way too much damage because not because of the damage of the skill itself, but how like mechanically it would interact with the game. So yeah, I'm not saying it's perfect like it is. I don't know, but it's still better than what it was, at least in my opinion. I mean, everybody. I like the proc chance more, because for me it's more fun. Attack speed is relevant, but you know, because the problem with the cooldown is, as I said earlier, if you have too much attack speed, you can jump a cycle and then lose DPS that way. But beside that, it's fine, 100%. The Elven fragments, you can convert them to ambassador's key in any ruptures. I'm gonna show you where. It's nice. So, oh, it's here. You see these guys in every rupture, right? You can trade your fragment for ambassador's key, and you can trade uh, some scrolls for ambassador's key too. They are only used for that. The elven fragments are only used for the ambassador's key, and the ambassador's key you need to take in your elven reputation. You need to take the lost path. And when you have the lost pass and you mine any node in a rupture over level 70 plus, you have a chance to see the blue cubes. You've seen maybe the blue cubes that appears randomly. So they are a portal to the Elven capital, and you use the ambassador key to enter that portal. Um, and digging deeper, so the dungeon start. It's a mining dungeon. The dungeon starts at rupture 250, but with each digging deeper level, you would get 3 rupture level, and the more rupture level you will have, the better flint and stones you will get back from it. And flint and stones can be crafted to damage and armor stones, right here. So you don't need to hold on a few. Usually I stockpile them until I really need them. Like I really need the damage or the armor from it. Like I think I'm gonna do them before I attempt Archeon, for example, because it's my next dungeon breakpoint, I would say. And to be a little bit safer, I'm gonna do it, right? To get a little bit more armor percent and more damage percent. You can do them whenever you want, but usually the later the better. If you are upgrading, digging deeper. Oh, I have 2 more points. So, because the more points you put in, the more flint and stones you'll get back. So, yeah. Okay. I think I'd already checked that. Yeah.
How can I help you? Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let me grab my gems real quick, but uh, I think I will be done for today. I've been streaming for 13 hours almost already today. If you want to see more of my content, shameless plug. I post all my VODs on my YouTube. If you want to see when I'm offline, how I'm progressing. I try to keep the videos in playlists. You're welcome, Gloomy. I put them in a playlist, so if you do the first one up top, it should be the later one, so the first days. But yeah, otherwise I will be around like in something like 12 hours or something. Let me see if there is anybody streaming Dwarven Realms right now. Okay, there is somebody that is sponsored, so I don't really want to raid sponsored streamer. I mean, we can raid the Theron TV. I don't know him, but eh, I don't know if I'm in the mood to raid somebody. Alright, I think I'm not gonna raid anybody. Thank you guys for everything, all the support, like staying by, like stopping by, saying hello, asking questions, you know. Eh, it brightens my day. So feel free to come back anytime. Have a good day, have a good night, and see you guys tomorrow.